All right, I'm Adam. I'm here with Neil and Dave from 5440. How's it going, guys?
Excellent.
It's going great.
Thank you. Now, 5440, this year or was it last year? You celebrated your 30th anniversary?
It's kind of going on through the whole year.
Okay.
Our first gig was New Year's Eve, 1980.
1980.
To 81, so 2011 would be the whole 30th year. If
Okay.
that makes any sense.
Yeah. What do you credit 5440's seeming immortality to?
I don't think we're immortal, but hopefully the music might be.
Well, I mean, 30 years is longer than most bands stay together, put it that way.
Yeah, I know, and because of that, I don't know, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, I get that question a lot, like, how do you stay together? Well, how do you break up? Yeah, I don't know that one.
Well, I guess, I mean, maybe it has something to do with your, as well as in music, your personal relationships.
Yeah, I suppose it could be. There's sort of something that goes together with that. You know, Brad and I, who started the band, have both been married, not to each other, but for 25 years. So, you know, the stability of both of those. And it's the same thing. It's like people ask my wife and I, how do you stay together? And I go, well, I mean, how do you break up? I mean, that's like, seems like a lot of work.
So is it kind of like you're stable in your lives, so that has something to do with band stability, maybe?
Perhaps. You know, it's like, you know, my kids used to get asked, what's it like to, you know, have your dad as a rock singer?
Yeah.
And they go, well, I don't know any other way, so that's just the way it is. I've lived backstage, you know.
Fair enough. And music-wise, are you guys trend-proof, would you say? Referring to styles of music.
No. I mean, well, trend-proof. It depends what you mean by trend. If that you mean that as a bad word.
No,
or a good word.
I mean this in a good way. Like, you don't have to go along with trends. Like, your music fit in the 80s, it fit in the 90s, and it fits in the 2000s. It just exists. You know, you don't sound like the Killers or...
Yeah. I guess, you know, we definitely like some things we hear around us sometimes. And, you know, it might ignite something in us a little bit. But I don't know, how would you answer that, Dave?
I think that the band is in a position now, creatively, when we're making a record, when we're writing and we're producing a record, that we don't have to subscribe to what is the hot sound at any given time. We can just kind of squeeze and see what comes out. We're not really, the market doesn't dictate what type of music we're writing. And that's very freeing creatively. It's a great position to be in.
So, I mean, would it be fair to say you're comfortable putting out a 5440 record? Because that's what fans expect, really?
I don't know what fans expect.
No, sorry, not doing it because fans expect it, but it's safe for fans to expect another 5440 album?
I don't even know if we think as far as the fans anymore when we're making records. We're really, we're kind of writing for ourselves.
Really yeah. I mean, it's funny. When you're being creative, anybody, I suppose, being creative within, and when I produce bands, I sort of say the same thing that my manager said to me years ago when I can't remember what record we were making, and I'm like, wow, this seems like a real departure, you know, do you think people are going to get it and stuff? And he goes, you know what, you guys are always going to sound like you guys. It doesn't really matter what you do. And that was pretty freeing to hear. It's like, okay, we'll do whatever then.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you're on your 13th album, Lost in the City. Why did you decide to go with, no, you know, I'll rephrase that question. What is your working relationship with Dave Ogilvy, who produced it?
It's kind of fun.
Okay, fair enough.
Fun. He's a great hang, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we've all known him for 25 years.
Yeah, well, he worked with us in '83 on Set the Fire.
Okay, that's right. Whenever I hear his name, I always associate him with Skinny Puppy still, but he's done a lot of other stuff, I guess.
Oh yeah, he's done a ton of stuff.
Yeah, he worked with us before those guys were even a band. Skinny Puppy was an offshoot of
Images
of Vogue,
right?
Yeah, I guess it's a familial relationship too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vancouver's a small musical community, and the people who have stuck it out, who still have their head above water at this point, you know, we tend to be attracted to each other a lot of times. You know, there's a safety and familiarity that sometimes you want to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Lost in the City, I want to talk a few things about the album. First of all, the title track Why'd you name the album after that song? Or did it go in that order?
That was, I think, an early favorite. It seemed to resonate. You know, kind of titling a record is a lot like writing a lyric or whatever. If it just kind of resonates. The other one was probably Feast of Ida. That was the competitor in the title, and you know, I can tell you every record we've done had an alternate title. I think I remember them all. So you kind of go with whatever.
Okay. Another song, Good Man Feeling Bad. This was one where, when I first heard it, something about 5440 really struck me, how you, Neil, can be singing about something not happy, you know, not depressing, but not happy, but it's uplifting to hear the music, really. Is that intentional, or is that just how it comes out?
It's a little bit of both, you know. I think it's more about being accepting. Yeah, there's always going to be some shadow or some bad vibes, bad feelings, and if you can accept it, then you can kind of get a rhythm in your step and go, yeah, I can deal with this.
Okay, makes sense. Again, you've been playing for 30 years. Is there pressure when you're putting a set list together, say, to play, you know, a certain amount of hits or certain hits, because you've had a lot of hits over 3 decades?
I think so. I think, you know, I mean, when I go see a show of a band, you know, a favorite band of mine that's been a favorite for years, there's certain songs I want to hear, and I associate those songs with a certain time in my life or certain events. I mean, there's such a connection between music and time. It can really take you to another place. So I think it's important to touch on those songs for the fans. One thing that we do a lot of is we'll rearrange or we'll rejig songs. We're doing Crossing a Canyon right now with just Neil singing and myself on piano, and it's very sort of slow and dark with a lot of space. And you know, we'll do that for a cycle, and then we'll rejig something else. We were doing Baby Ran as sort of a Crosby, Stills and Nash kind of three guy acoustic number for a while. And I think it's important to play some songs that people are really familiar with, true to their form, and other songs that you can stretch out.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it keeps it alive.
It keeps it fresh for us, and hopefully for the fans as well.
Yeah, okay. The song I Go Blind specifically, I have to ask, has anyone ever come up to you and said that it's cool that you cover Hootie and the Blowfish song?
Well, the funniest story about that is when we opened for Hootie, when you know they were playing the arenas in Canada. I think the first show was in Ottawa in like '98 or something like that at the Corel Center or whatever it's called. And you know, the guys came backstage and like, okay, who's going to do I Go Blind?
Oh, yeah.
And well, we said, you know, we want you to do it because we're going to make more royalties because you're the headliner. And they said, but we just you guys do it this first night, and then we'll do it every other night. And we went, okay. So we get up there, you know, we're opening for Hootie in front of whatever many thousands of people, and we start I Go Blind, and their road manager wasn't part of this meeting, and he had no idea that it was our song, and he tried to give us the hook for this insult we were playing a Hootie song, right? So somebody had to run up and stop him from stopping us.
Yeah. Hootie were okay guys, though?
Oh, yeah, they're great guys. Really down to earth, really friendly.
Okay. All right, last question for you guys. Can you recommend any music, you know, something new that's got your ear?
Well, let's think. Nothing too new. I mean, I like, the latest thing that I got was a folk singer named of Mary Gauthier. I don't know if you know her.
I heard of, yeah.
Really powerful, soulful stuff. That's about it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got 3 kids and the oldest one is 4 years old.
So lots of Wiggles.
So yeah, a lot of Dora. And
I've heard that's good.
Barney. If you're familiar with Barney, really hot right now at my house.
Is he still around even?
Oh yeah, yeah. 30-year anniversary I think for Barney.
All right, in good company. Neil, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Dave,
Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks.